what I did for my own Mac Bootcamp uh, and setting up Windows. So for this whole installation process, I took 6 hours, and you only need to use Bootcamp Assistant because that's Apple's own official Bootcamp for Windows. If you're gonna use like other softwares, I recommend not doing it. It might mess up even worse. So yeah, for this process I had almost no problems. It's just a lot of waiting and a lot of freaking out. Like I didn't know what's gonna happen. So I'm just trying to cut short whatever I can cut short because it's gonna be quite a lot of pictures I'm gonna show you. So just avoid being impatient and like yeah, it might cause problems if you're gonna be impatient. You better have a good internet connection, especially using a LAN wide cable instead of Wi-Fi. And you should always do your research. So like just get your phone ready if you have problems. And like it's gonna be like 6 hours. So if you're gonna need to do work, then you might get another computer to stand by or your phone to stand by. Yeah, and always use like Apple support and like just follow closely other internet searches and other videos. So this is my computer on a Mac system. I actually use Mac OS Mojave. So I did not use Catalina. I explained in previous video why, where Catalina is actually only running 64-bit apps and not 32-bit apps. So Mojave gives the ability to run 32-bit apps also, as previously done. I'm not sure why they're making a change because 64-bit apps are actually more efficient in the sense that they run larger loads, so it's faster. So I'm using a mid-2012 version, so take note of that. Actually, I had no problems. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. So what I did was because I there's another website on older Mac, newer Mac. I'm using the older Mac, whereas 2012. Newer Macs normally classified like 2015 or 2018 and beyond that until 2020. So I'm using a version Mac OS Mojave. They only allow for Catalina Mojave and uh, 10.13 version. So what you need is keyboard, mouse, trackpad, and actually this is Apple's official website. So if you're gonna use older Mac, you better prepare a 16 GB flash drive. No smaller than that because I actually used 3 GB when I downloaded when I just plugged in my thumb drive on my Mac OS, and then when I went to Windows after that, successfully downloaded Windows and installed Bootcamp Windows, I used 7 GB. So you might need a mouse, and your Mac should come with a trackpad unless you're using iMac. So you need a Windows ISO image. Just download from the website from Microsoft and free space. Yeah. And then you definitely need to back up your important files. I'm not sure how you want to back up, but for me, I don't have much applications or documents, so I just transfer all my documents into external hard disk drive, where it's just documents and not applications. That is because in case you screw up the installation process or whatever you did, and then you can't use your Mac anymore, and then you just have to wait until you can go to the Apple Store. So check for software updates. I recommend just doing Mojave if you have it, or Apple version 10.13 10.13. If you have Catalina, it's fine also, but Catalina might be a bit unstable, and any software older than these three soft versions. So any version older than these three versions, you actually use you might run into problems because they are not stated here. So generally, anyway, if your computer is running an older version of macOS, just upgrade to a new one. And I have 2 videos on that, so yeah, don't worry. One on MacBook Pro, one on MacBook Air. So after you've done your software update, right, you get a Windows ISO image from Microsoft, and I'll show you right here. So this is where you actually just search for Microsoft ISO image, and yeah, I opened it before, so it's actually here, and it's the same. So before you begin, you want to use blank USB. You want to just have a blank USB drive in case, at least 5 GB. Yeah, I would say at least 7 lah. And you, okay, so I just got you through here. The instructions are okay. So over here, you just select Windows, and that's the only option. Then you select your product language. Just select English for now. Confirm. Okay, so this is where the tricky part comes. Some of you may not understand this, so most of the time you use a 64-bit download, unless your computer is super old. Then over here, just search Mac 32-bit or 64-bit. You go to images, you see this picture, and it will tell you which processor you actually use. Is it a 32-bit or 64-bit? Most of the time it should be 64-bit already. So if you're using newer computers, and not like super old one, and then you verify your download. Yeah, all this is not needed, cause you just go by this downloads here. So after you download, you actually have this what you call ISO image, ISO file. So you don't need a DVD usually. So the ISO file, just store it on your computer, like in the downloads section over here, and then your thumb drive is just blank for the moment. Later on, it'll be used by Bootcamp assistant. So let's go back to. So this is Bootcamp, and official Apple support Bootcamp. So there's a lot of links. So as I said, all this is just compatibility issues. Yeah, and you should just I included all the links in the presentation, so just check it out later. So we go back to the steps. So once you get an ISO image, just put it in your downloads folder, and just connect external USB drive or flash drive or thumb drive, or whatever you call it, into one of the ports on your Mac. Then never take it out until you actually successfully run Windows Bootcamp. Then you just open Bootcamp Assistant. So you can actually just have the search button, press Command F, and then you just search Bootcamp Assistant. So it opens up for you, and over here you might want to do research before you actually start on this, because once you go past this, you probably you are probably doing the actual stuff already. So you just create Windows 10. I need a USB flash drive because my computer is older. This is the 2012 model. It's not the 2015 model or 2018 model anymore. And then just continue. And so by rights, your ISO image file should be on your downloads folder in your Mac, and then your USB drive should be empty. And, okay, so as I showed you earlier on, your Bootcamp assistant, just click continue, continue. Just create whatever, just follow the on-screen instructions if you need, as you need. So you actually go past this. Yeah, this will take quite a while. It's just the start of your waiting process of yours, like probably 5-hour waiting process. So these are all the pictures I took, and yeah, so okay, so here's where you just enter your admin password and username. And okay, so this is the part where you actually need to take note. This part is actually not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to resize it later on. So you better choose wisely how much you want. If you're going to use your Windows quite a bit, right, I recommend you, like me, I'll probably do 150 in terms of like how much space and how much like weightage I'm going to give. So the minimum they allowed me was 40 GB. That's because your Windows still includes some OS system, and after you have your OS system, it's going to go down to 30 GB or 20 GB. I use my Mac OS more, so I partition into Windows 150 actually. I cater 140 only because Mac OS doesn't just run on empty stuff. Mac OS actually has its own OS, so I'm actually using this 10 GB to compensate for Mac OS disk image and whatever operating system they use, and then whatever is remaining of the 10 GB, I just use it for Windows OS, and it might cut into my Windows, so it might just leave me at 130 GB. But I'm fine because I don't use my Windows much. So for this, you can't resize it anymore after you've done this step. So choose wisely. So step 4, you click the install button over here. You just install, and yeah, it restart your Macs and open the Windows installer when they actually ask you which partition you want to install your Windows. So this is actually quite long. So do not power off or restart your computer. So don't touch your keyboard buttons also. And then they'll ask you for admin password and username again. And yeah, it restarts and goes to Windows. So over here, you just choose whatever you're comfortable with, and I don't have product key. You can always enter the product key later on. Yeah, I want to just make sure that my Windows is running. If I have a product key, I would still enter I don't have a product key because you can always enter it later. And then you just choose Windows at home. Unless you know all these other versions, then just use them. Yeah, because your organization might support them, might supply them, or whatever. And then you click next, and you accept the license term. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. I actually didn't think I need to format it. As Apple supports it, it's always good to format it, but I didn't format it, and I just chose a partition. And I recognize that this is the partition I want because I catered 140, so it should be around that range. It's just 9 GB left. 9 GB lacking. So I just click that and I click next, and I don't have any problem until now. So this is where Apple actually says you should actually format your. So select Bootcamp partition, and you know that, like, I know that partition 3 is actually my Bootcamp, because the amount of space was actually 140, just 130, and then the rest are just totally off. Then Apple asks you to format, and then click OK to confirm that you're formatting, and then you click next. So I didn't do that, so I just click next, and then it starts installing Windows. So once it starts installing Windows, you just restart using Windows, and then other setup screen. So this is installing Windows screen all the way until here, and all these processes actually take quite long. Okay, so getting device ready. This is the setup screen for Windows. Yeah, so Cortana is like Siri for Mac. Cortana for Windows is like Siri for Mac. So yeah, just skip this for now. Yeah, try to be quiet, cause it might just interrupt you in your stuff. And then you just choose your region, choose your keyboard layout. So I'm using a Mac, so Mac actually like more or less uses Mac keyboard, but Windows, they usually follow like US keyboard layout. So I use United Kingdom English, but that's fine, because yeah, everyone, I more or less use US keyboard layout, because it's like to me it's the international standard, unless you're using like other languages for English, I mean non-English, and then it just sets up. And this one is pretty fast. You just click offline account, unless you want to really sign in with Microsoft, but I recommend offline account first. You can always change it later, I think. So I just want to see like what happens if I click get it now. I just return to the page actually. So I just click offline account and limited experience, and this will actually lead you to the previous page. So just go with this. So this name is going to be your admin name, admin account name, and you just choose a name that you're comfortable with, and your password, just choose a password you won't forget, won't ever forget. Click next, confirm your password. Okay, so this is where the 3 questions come. So you give you a list, and there's actually 7, right? You just short down to like 5 questions later on. So yeah, just choose wisely. Which one is best for you, and you can answer it easily. So I just chose this, and some questions, yeah, like this. Okay, so once you're done, you go to privacy settings, and okay, all this is just optional. All this is just for Microsoft to get more data, so that they can improve. And yeah, I just recommend no for everything. But like for those I click yes, I just wanna just especially like find my device, I might use it. So all that can be toggled later also. I switch off advertising ID because I don't like it. So yes, and then once you're done, it'll just load you to a page, and you just have to be patient. It will just load you to this page where they automatically open Windows Microsoft Edge. So you can see there's 2 windows that's open. So these are windows, and you just close the windows, right? It'll just show you this. So earlier on, this yellow orange box is actually just for this Bootcamp installer. Don't miss this because this is very important. Accept everything and install. It takes quite a while, so just be patient, and yeah, when you're done, you just finish, and then you just want to software update everything. So after it's done installing, I just noticed that this popped up. Yeah, so you must restart for your configuration. Yeah, so this is quite usual to Windows. For Mac, I think you also restart to take effect, but it's not that obvious. Like, to me, it's not that obvious, but for Windows, like, you just restart and say that you're actually just, there's this like circle and it says configuring, and then after it's done, you just show you this page, your login page. This is Windows login page. You click any button on the screen, it'll just show you your account name, and you'll just type in your password. Okay, so it's just popped up. I knew that this is just gonna be the computer running its own task, so don't touch this, don't ever touch this, and don't play around, or you mess it up. Yeah, so this is just some stuff. Okay, so now I want to do software updates. I'm just gonna show you first your Bootcamp, how much space you actually use and how much space you have left. You use like 23 GB. This is your thumb drive, so don't do anything on thumb drive yet. Then you go to settings, and this is Windows settings. I opened it already, so just click update and security over here at the bottom left. Okay, so you just want to update whatever you have, because like I think like updates are based on layers, so you just need to keep on checking after you download these few updates. You need to check check for updates again. So you check, and yeah, it's like layers. So you just update this again and install. All this are gonna take quite a while, like maybe 30 minutes in total. And then you keep checking for updates until they say you don't have any updates, you're updated. So over here, you just want to like, oh, so this just popped up when I was about to press a Windows command key. Okay, so this is where my problem, I couldn't restart in OS X using this icon, and I just, yeah, it just freaked me out for a moment. Then I realized that, okay, I'm just gonna force shut down using the power button manually and hold it, and then it just restarts. And to get to this page, you need to actually press your alternate or option key on your Mac, and you get to this page. So I just want to restart in Mac just to make sure that my Mac working fine, because I use my Mac the most. So okay, so this is where I had no problem entering my Mac. So for this, don't freak out. Yeah, don't freak out. Just try once or twice, and if you can't, just force shut down. Okay, so this is where we're actually done with this Bootcamp partition. Okay, so now you updated your Windows, so now you want to update your Mac. So basically this security update was probably for my Mac, which I didn't do, or maybe even for my Windows also I didn't do, but whatever. So it just, yeah, restarts your computer and update, software update for 2 minutes. So, and yeah, actually this process was pretty long. So okay, so this is where I actually didn't install Mac OS Catalina. I just installed Mac OS Mojave. I explained earlier on. So so like we are done, almost done. So what we actually need to do now is Apple software support software. So you have to go back to your Windows and update it. So this is non-essential for now. if you want to do this, you can always do it like just to make sure that your default startup system is Mac OS, or if you want to choose Windows, that's fine. But this is Mac, this is Apple products, so I would rather have you put your default on Mac system when you start up. So okay, you just have to unclick the lock so you can make changes, and then you select this, and then you restart. So once you restart, after you click your Macintosh HD, your computer immediately says that okay, you will use your Macintosh as a default startup. Then you want to close the lock to prevent further changes. Yeah. So yeah, I restarted. So and then it asked me to shut down. Then I go back. And okay, so after I shut down everything, I press my alternate option button. Like after you restart this, you restart and then you go back to your Mac system, and then I shut down, and then I go back to this page by shutting down again and like holding alternate option key, and I want to log in back into my Windows so I can do this Apple software update. This is very important. It's like a synchronization process between your Apple keyboard and Windows keyboard functions. So if you're gonna miss this, your keyboard functions might not work well. So from what I use so far, my F7 to F12 play and volume buttons are working fine. My brightness are working fine. Initially it didn't work fine, but how I solved that was actually going to Mac and then just toggling the brightness and then going back to Windows to toggle the brightness. Yeah. So I'm not sure which other keys work actually. I didn't try that out. So anyway, this is the so-called synchronization process for Apple to Windows, and then you need to allow it to make changes. Yeah, it takes wasn't that long, and then I just press alternate option key again and go back to Windows to make sure that they actually configure. So this please wait actually like just starting up, and then I didn't manage to take a picture of the configuring, but maybe there wasn't even. Yeah, so when you log in back, you just see this blank screen, and then you just want to check again. Okay, so now I'm done. I just want to log back to my Mac OS, and so far no problems. So this is where I just want to see like what's inside my Bootcamp. Yeah, so you can actually just read, but you cannot write from your Windows to Mac. So it's just a read-only function to see what's inside your Windows Bootcamp. So at this point in time, I'm pretty sure I can remove my flash drive. So as they said, just eject before you disconnect your thumb drive or your flash drive or whatever external hard disk drive that you use for your Windows installation process. If you want to just make sure, then you can just go over to Windows and install something. In this case, refer to my other video where I actually install Microsoft Edge and re-download Microsoft Edge, the new version of Microsoft Edge, and I download Google Chrome, and they work fine. So I also have other programs running. It's been like maybe 2 weeks since I had that running, and it's working fine. So this is what it looks like. So once I ejected from my thumb drive, you just look at this, and yeah, you can notice that the other two stuff are gone. So this icon are gone. So you just want to go back into Mac, and then or you can choose Windows, and yeah, go back. And so over here, after this, I actually did Google Chrome and new version of Microsoft Edge download. So you refer to my other video for that. So avoid impatience or it might cause problems. Use a good internet connection like LAN, wired cable, and always do your research and just make sure you have a extra electronic device in place so you can just search for your problems you have. And do not press your keyboard buttons. Do not touch your power button. Just use your trackpad if your screen goes dim, but you shouldn't like click anything. Just like hover your trackpad or your USB mouse or yeah. And then you might want to just refer to Apple support more or also other internet searches and watch videos before you actually do your stuff. So this is one video you watch before you do bootcamp. So as I said earlier on, like my other problems was just restarting Mac OS, and then I didn't expect I need a thumb drive because I thought that Mac was actually very good. In the end, yeah, I just needed to use thumb drive, so I just had empty thumb drive in place. I had to go get it from my drawer. So your ISO image file should be downloaded on your Mac and not on your thumb drive. Your thumb drive should be empty throughout the process until you reach the Windows installer stage. So references was just Apple support articles, and I included a Windows 10 Microsoft page for Windows 10 ISO image download link. So I'll leave a link to this PowerPoint presentation so you can just hang on. And yeah, I just want to show you all this back again, and you need to remember this. So all these links just open up before you do your stuff and just read them. Just read up on them. Okay, so if you're using a newer version like 2015 or 2018, you use this website from Apple. All these links are in the presentation. So like I'm just here to like make sure like give advice. So for people who have never done this before, it's actually quite nerve-wracking. You might screw up, yeah. So just follow whatever is on the safer side. And like I'm just putting out a disclaimer so that I don't want you like blaming me if like your stuff goes wrong. Because I'm not like obliged to help. Yeah, I just like wanna share this so that you guys can learn from it and hopefully run it smoothly. Okay, see you guys.